Well, this is what we got. So after having this thing, this radiator, boxed up in that box, I just looked at the packing slip. It's been in that box since July of 2024. That's when I received it. I haven't unboxed it until yesterday. And we're jumping around a little bit. I still have the upper firewall to do on the interior, but I wanted to get the radiator in place. And I needed to get the radiator in place before I do the mount for the fuel cell. So I've already got a lower channel or lower tray that I designed and cut out on the plasma table. I'll put a little video up of it here. Here. So that's a really good start. So this is where it's going to live. Over here on the edge, I would like to put a piece of plate that goes up vertically and kind of matches the angle of the radiator. You can see on the side, the bottom of the tanks, it kind of angles downward or inward, I guess, angles inward. So I want to put a piece of plate that sort of matches that. And then I'm going to put another piece of plate that follows this bend and then comes to a flange out this way. So it's going to follow the contour of the tube sort of and comes out to a flange this way. And then I'm going to weld a 2-bolt flange to this tube, and then 2 bolts will go through that, and that's how this lower channel or this lower tray will be secured into the chassis. Reason being is that lower tray has to be removable in order to get the fuel cell out and service it, should I ever have to do that. So I just want to make everything modular. So that's what this video is going to be sort of about. We'll see how far we get. It is afternoon, it's about 2 o'clock, and it's already pretty hot in the shop here. Usually I like to start in the mornings, but I had work to do this morning, so we're in the shop this afternoon seeing how much we can get done. And so that's what we're doing. All right. All right, so I got this radiator up on the bench here, and I'm gonna make sure I have this thing as centered up as I can. And then I want to weld in. I've got these plates here that are cut and ready to go. And I'm just going to spot these in. That one's a little loose. I don't know if I like that. Got this one here. I might just clean this up and use it. Okay, got those tacked in. Now I need to go and clamp this thing down. Of course, get the radiator out of here. And I gotta weld these seams up. I'll probably just do them a little bit at a time and let it cool. All right, so I sort of got this thing, I don't know, it's not really fixtured, but I got it in there on a piece of square tubing and kind of clamped down. Hopefully it doesn't want to bow up on me too much. I'm just going to weld a little bit at a time and take my time and work on designing the upper bracket while I'm waiting for it to sort of cool, and we'll just kind of go from there. All right, well, good afternoon. It's been a couple of days since I welded up this bottom tray here. I still got to clean up the welds and make that all smooth and nice and pretty. I have since, and I did not video this, I worked on these flanges that I'm going to use to bolt the tray itself to the tubing. Originally I had the flanges coming out, I don't know, perpendicular to the tube at a 90-degree angle, so laying flat. But I realized that they would interfere with the shocks. So I changed it. I had this bent right in here, so it was bent upward like this. So I changed it and flattened these plates out, but I still don't like it. So I think I'm gonna redesign that, and you can kind of see what angle the flanges are now. And I kind of want those flanges to be underneath the tube or more vertical. I hate to change it. They're only tacked in there, so that's the good thing. I can just pop those out of there. But I'm gonna have to change the flange that welds to the underside of the tube here as well, because I want this to go down more. So The other thing I want to do is make those flanges a little bit longer and then narrow them out. So you can see here, here's the top of the shock. And here's the adjuster ring. The adjuster ring is actually a little slightly smaller in diameter than the spring will be. So there's just barely any room. And you know, when I flex the suspension out and say this tire on this driver's side drops out, that shock is going to swing inward toward this tube. And if there's anything at this level of this flange, it's going to contact it. So I just don't like that. I'm going to go ahead and work on redoing that, and we'll go from there. Okay, well, I got this bracket where I want it. I went ahead and narrowed this out and I turned it downward more. So that's gonna stay out of the way of the shock that's basically right here. And yeah, I'm happier with that. You know, it took a little extra time, but then I don't have to worry about it clearing when the axle's articulated and the shock's swinging in toward this tube right here. So now what I got is the top bracket. I went ahead and cut it. You saw it on that little time lapse with the plasma table, but here you go. So now I just got to take, you see all the reliefs, that's all going to get bent downward. So that's where the cap is, and then I got the relief over on this side for the upper hose fitting. So anyway, we'll go over and get this bent. All right, so because of the features on the other channel, I bent the other one by hand, but I'm gonna see if I can bend this one on this mag brake. Mag brake's not supposed to do anything more than 16 gauge steel, but I have all the bends on this relieved with the line cuts, and then also I went through and the little pieces that were still connecting everything together, I scored them with the cutoff wheel, as you saw. So hopefully this is happy. Otherwise it's gonna screw the thing up. I don't know. Think it would be better than bending it by hand. See if I can make it work. Pretty good, actually. Let's see. actually worked really good. I'm happy with that. We'll see how this thing fits. To do a little adjustment on this relief I cut for the actually no, you know what it's hanging up on? It's hanging up on this cardboard that I have on here to protect the radiator. So oh no, it's hanging up on the radiator cap. So I needed to make that just slightly bigger, that relief there. I'll have to hit it with the sander. Let's see if that helps it out, but it's not bad. It fits my relief over here for the inlet, outlet, whatever this fitting is right here on this corner, so might need to pull one of these corners back just slightly. We'll see. It's not bad though. Okay, well, I'm in a situation here where I need more width here. This needs to be taller, and I massaged that hole and got it to slide over the cap, but now I'm looking at this and I don't have enough room around this for a fitting. So, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out if I just scrap this whole piece and redraw it, make this wider. I need like probably a 1/4 inch. I can get this on there, but this ain't gonna work. That hole needs to be a little bigger for the radiator cap over there. This needs to be much wider. And I was trying to have this stick out proud so I can put another plate right here, which is, you know, just to keep everything captured so it doesn't move side to side. And this is sticking out good. I like the width of it. Just this is not gonna work. I can't put a fitting on there. And like I said, I need more width. So I guess what I need to do is measure this up here and then just add more width to this top piece. Kind of go from there. I hate to waste the steel. The only thing I could do is just cut this flange off of here, redraw it. But then if I do that, I'm gonna have to put like a counter bend in it to get more width out of it. And I'm gonna have to open this up. So I don't know if I wanna do that. This might be scrap. Shoot, all right. Okay, here we go, take 2. Okay, let's see if that's any better. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that much better. That's gonna work, I think. Only thing we might have trouble with is clearance around this fitting. But I looked it up online. It said at max the wrench size for this fitting is 1 3/4, but that doesn't count, you know, if it's a hex fitting, it doesn't count the distance point to point. So we'll just have to see, get a fitting, make sure I can put it on there, and before I, you know, make everything final. But I like that way better. It fits much better. Now I can cut my caps for the sides and go from there. Okay, these end plates, they only need to be about 1 inch wide because the width of this flange is only 1 inch. But I have the radius in here of this opening, so I'm going to see if I can match that. I think I cut that at 3 inches. Let's see if I can match that with something and bend a piece of strap up. I'm just going to use this test piece to match that radius. Let's see what I can do. Alright, so I just got a couple pieces of tube that I just welded to this scrap piece of plate. This is a piece of 3-inch driveline tubing, and I'm just going to shape that piece of strap around this 3-inch tubing here. Okay, that should work. And I'll just cut some legs off and bend them at 90-degree angles. Let's go see if this will fit. I need just a little bit more shape. A little more. There we go. So then I marked where I need to make the bend, and then I'll just cut my legs off long, and then I'll just cut it in. I just need to make a 90-degree bend there. Come over here to the vise, just put a little bit of a bend in it. Might be a little too much. Too much. A little bit inside there. I think those screws are too much. There we go. Oh, wait, oh, do you think I'll move around? A little bit more. And I'll show you what I'm doing here. Oops. There we go. There, you can kind of see what I'm trying to accomplish. Hopefully that's in the frame. Do you like that? I'll just cut those ends off and we'll be good to go. Okay, we'll cut those off. And we'll mark a piece for here. This is 4 1/16, I think. And then we'll tack those in. There, now that little piece I shaped will fit right in there. I'll just tack that in. It's a little gappy, but it's not bad. Okay, we got those end caps tacked in there. I'm gonna go put the radiator on the buggy, slide this over the top, and start brainstorming about how I'm gonna attach this to the chassis. All right, she's in there. Got the upper bracket on there. Plenty of room for padding. You can see the shroud sticks out quite a bit more up top for some reason than it does on the bottom, which is why I think I needed to make that upper piece a little bit wider. So having that upper bracket on there is going to help me locate the lower bracket. I had that lower bracket pushed all the way up against the rear firewall tube, but I don't know if we need that. I think we probably need, I don't know. It depends on what it takes to slide it in from the top. But now I'm trying to figure out how I want to fasten this to the chassis. I've got the center tube there, but now I'm kind of thinking I need to go all the way across with something that sits up against that, and I can bolt flanges to. Then what I'm kind of thinking is, with this little gap above the radiator, it'd be nice to have a rear view mirror in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see. It might be too tall for a rear view mirror. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, I like it. It's growing on me. I got to figure out if I want to, how I want to attach, if I want to attach straps that go from the top flange to the bottom flange over on this end, or if I want to put it on the end caps. Not sure yet. Let's figure on that. Need to start thinking about how I want to design that. So anyway, that part was a success anyway. Well, I need to weld up everything on this upper bracket and weld those end caps in fully and go from there. Okay, well, I got this all welded up. Of course, I need to clean it all up and sand it all in. I got my end caps welded up. Ended up TIG welding those just so the bead wasn't so big and wide. So stay tuned for the next one. We'll figure out how this is going to go in. I need to buy some insulating closed cell foam rubber to insulate the radiator with, and that'll help me establish my height. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.